Welcome to Why Mistborn's Book Design Sucks. I'd like to preface this with that it has nothing to do with the story, but it does definitely take away from the reading experience. So, in many ways it does have something to do with the story, but regardless, let's begin. Alright, so here we have the copyright page. Nothing really egregious here. Just want to note, the first time this book was released is July 2006. It's like this one was updated at some point in October 2019. I would like to note, that means they had a chance to fix this, and they didn't. They kept the book design. Or maybe they made it worse, I don't know, but this is a really, I don't know who designed this. I'm not a book designer, but I can definitely ascertain that this is not a great design. Alright, so the preface. So we got, this is pretty good. We have a blank page here, and then we have this full page spread just for this header, and this is pretty standard. It's slightly weighted. I don't think it's quite a full bold, but it's a slightly weighted capital thing, and I think it's the same font as the rest of the text, but I'm not sure, but whatever. Pretty good. Same thing. Oh, right. It's on the recto side, which I wanted to bring up because this means it's on the right side for left to right languages, and that's preferred because if you think about the book physically, the recto side is kind of like when you first open the book where you're looking. It's where your title page would be kind of. I generally prefer headers to be on the recto side, not running heads, just like chapter headers. But most paperbacks I've seen actually don't do this. Hardcovers I think mostly do, but I'm not completely sure. But I think it's best practice. So again, this is verso recto. The reason we don't use left and right is because this actually flips if you're reading from right to left. So this is a concept that we use to apply to the full range of typographic decisions you might have to make in any language. So it should be language agnostic. So I'm going to refer to this as verso and recto. Sorry, excuse me. But really it's just left and right. So yeah. So then here again we have a nice full page spread. We have this blank page here. We're on the recto side. So great, fun. Now we have this little blurb, which is standard for the book, and then again a nice weighted text, this bar and the symbol, and then the first couple letters are capitalized. Great, I'll take it. And also I apologize for scanning stuff. It's gonna get worse from here on out. So same thing for chapter 1 is pretty good. Whoops. Yeah, so chapter 1 is pretty good. We got the full page spread again. This is blank, blurb, symbol, text, capitalized, whatever. Chapter 2, we are now on the left side. Whoops. We're now on the left side, no longer on the recto, not on the verso, but fine. Like I said, most paperbacks do this. There's nothing really egregious about this. I'm not a big fan, but okay. So here is where I'm completely, I don't understand what's going on. So also I do want to note the justification here is fine. The indents are okay for a mass market paperback, but here I really don't know what was going on. I don't know who, and I'm really sorry about the scan, but I don't know who thought that having this header right here was a good idea. Having this, because it's right at, the text from the last chapter ends here. And I don't know if it's cost cutting or what, but I can't see any good reason why you wouldn't put this on the next page. I don't know why you wouldn't have a page break here. And it doesn't, this is true for all 3 of the books in the trilogy that I own. This is how they're designed. And I was alternating between chapter summaries and the book themselves, and it really just, this book is not designed for anyone to read unless they're reading like cover to cover every single word. You can see again the same thing, but it's on the other side. We're on the left side now, no longer on the recto. So we have some text. There should be a break here, and 10 should start here. But it doesn't, and I don't know why. And another thing is, the entire time, this top part, yeah, it has page numbers, but there's no table of contents at the beginning of the book, and it's just Brandon Sanderson, Mistborn. Like, you really, I know that the chapters don't have names, which makes it a little harder, but you couldn't somehow find a way to put a 10 up here for the chapter number. Like, you couldn't find a way to put the chapter number up there. I mean, this is also kind of standard for fantasy paperbacks, but I think it's really bad design. And those at least have some other merits. So I'll get to that again later. But here's Warbreaker, another Brandon Sanderson book. This is the hardcover, I believe. This is a book that understands what it's doing. Has the nice number. This is very dramatic. It has this whole thing going on here. And then it has this big letter over here, and it always has its own page. It's not in the middle of text. This is how it should be. For another example, here's the second one, same thing. You got letter, got this dramatic box effect thing, and then a big letter here. Great, cool. Then this is another book. This is Jade City by Fonda Lee. So this is what I mean by another paperback. So like this is, chapter 11. This one also doesn't put the chapters up there, but it's a lot more excusable when your chapters take up half a page each. It also switches from verso to recto. Take my word for that. I don't have an example of it being on the recto side here, but it definitely does it. Which is not ideal, because I'd like to only have to look at one side of the page when I'm flipping through, but it's far better than what the designers of Mistborn are doing over here. I really don't know why this decision was made, but okay. So then one more example. So this is from my favorite typeset book ever, which is Permanent Record, the hardcover, by Edward Snowden. So this is a book that's not afraid to use up space. So it's a $30 hardcover, which I guess kind of makes sense for why they can do this. But they have this full page spread on every chapter. The chapter number is very discreet, and the text is also discreet, because it's given all of this room around it to breathe. So it's not bolded, it's barely enlarged, and it's not small caps or anything. It's just there. This book in general uses pretty large font. It's a pretty big book. It's a very nice book to read. And they also, they actually provide chapter names with the name of the book, instead of just going Permanent Record, Edward Snowden, Permanent Record, Edward Snowden. Just makes sense, because it's not a biography, and the chapter names have actual names. They're not just numbers. But I still think this is something that could be fit into Mistborn, or at least have their chapters not be in the middle of the text. Another thing, this book does actually have a designer. This is Permanent Record still. That is listed. I would love to get into contact with this person to ask about some of the design choices, but I haven't really pursued it. But this is a great book, exemplar book for book design. But yeah, so that was why Mistborn's book design sucks. Thanks for watching.